Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, we talked before, brothers, and it's very important that we actually love what we are doing. Isn't it true? So, if you have problems in the prayer or having difficulties to instill love in yourself to pray, what is the cause of this, and what should you do? What is the cause of people missing prayers, or people are not loving the prayers and this? What is the cause of this? And sorry? Yeah, first of all, it's Allah's guidance. And secondly, and forgive me for saying this, right? You don't need to choose the correct spouse. Do you agree?
Yes.
Right?
Sorry?
Spouse. Yes, of course. Your spouse is supposed to be your best companion, isn't it true? Imagine if your spouse are not practicing, how on earth are you expecting your children to pray? Right? Alhamdulillah, you have Musa, Abdul Rahman, Huda, right? All my students. And all of them are here because alhamdulillah, right? Brother Abid has hit the jackpot, isn't it true? Imagine if you chose somebody on the basis of the looks only, right? You won't end up with this kind of ability to, to have the children who are practicing. And perhaps when you were young in those days, your parents might be practicing, isn't it true? Do you agree? Right? So, and on this basis, you do need to find a correct spouse on the basis of the deed, because if you don't do that, you have to blame yourself. If your children are not, sorry? Definitely not in Albania. Right? Right? And it's very important, right? Who will get you a right spouse? Of course, from Allah, isn't it true? Asking Allah to grant you the best spouse, isn't it true? Right? And it's very actually important, right? Brother Adam's children, all alhamdulillah wearing hijab and all this, right? Aisha, Khadija, right? And all this because you do, and not only that, right? Ability for you and I to teach the children to not to just to go through the motion of the salah, isn't it true? It is to, inshallah, try to understand what they're doing, understand the purpose of life, understand Tawheed. It's very important, right? A lot of children, or a lot of people, they don't understand what is Tawheed. And according to the article I gave him, Sheikh Fawzan, rahimullah, right? What did Sheikh Fawzan say? When you understand Tawheed, everything you understand what to do, isn't it true? Right? Because it is true understanding of Tawheed, then even the execution of the Tawheed is about your Salah, isn't it true? Right? That you love what you're doing. Right? Brothers, a lot of people are not able to pray today because they are 6 feet under the ground. All of us are still alive, alhamdulillah, isn't it true? That we do need to make full use of this opportunity to immediately, right, to serve Allah in the best of manners, especially with our salah. Yeah. So other than having a correct spouse and guidance of Allah, we talked many times about shaitan, right? Always among those people who are always jealous of us when we try to pray, isn't it true? Right? Other than that, your companions that you have, right? Who are your companions? For sure, your companions are involved in usually, right, the ability for you and I to worship Allah, right? If your companions are among those who always bring you to the mosque, you always go to the mosque, isn't it true? Right? Other than that, what else affecting our ability to actually pray in the best of manners?
So know what you're saying?
Yeah, so again, we discussed just about guidance and asking and knowing what you are saying, right? Other than that, something please. This is our Indonesian brother. You just came, right? To here? When did you come to UK?
Around September.
Alhamdulillah. Come, take a seat. So, what other things? The dunya itself, we discussed yesterday, right? How the dunya can affect our ability to be among, to focus on our worship. Other than that,
Wife.
we discussed before. Our wives.
Oh, wives.
Right. What other things?
Your connection with Allah outside prayer. So, you constantly sin, you won't be the khushu in prayer, for example.
Yeah, so also in a sense, it's sort of about your taqwa, isn't it true? Yeah, your God consciousness. Is taqwa from Allah, or are you able to build it yourself?
You have to see Allah.
Did Allah provide you with information how to get taqwa?
Yes.
Which surah in the Quran?
49.
Okay, good.
They're not for Tawbah.
So fasting, right? Which surah is this? Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu kutiba lakumus syiyam kama kutiba 'alal ladzina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun, right? Al-Baqarah verse number 183, right? Oh, you truly believe fasting has been prescribed to you as it was prescribed to us before, so you may attain taqwa. Other things?
Quran?
Two parts of the Quran, right? Surah number 2, verse number 3 to 5, right? The beginning part, Allah was described who has taqwa, right? And then alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaib wa yuqimuna as-salah wa yu'tuna az-zakah, and then
No, those who those who believe
yu'minuna bil ghaib, those who believe in the ghaib means unseen.
Which is the category?
Wa yuqimuna as-salah wa yu'tuna az-zakah, right? And this is very important that all of us must understand. Another one is Surah number 3, verse number 134, 135, 136. So all the criteria that we need to understand, right, about how to achieve taqwa, right? Any other things that will affect our ability to love our prayers and to be better in our prayers?
What is their deeds?
Okay, and what would one through these do?
Allah will know you.
Gain Allah's love.
Yeah.
Right? So all this kind of thing is very important that we truly understand, yeah, about how it's not just about ticking boxes, as I said so many times, it's about loving what you're doing in the salah, right? About loving the fact that Allah, alhamdulillah, has chosen you and me to, for me, I use the word invited to pray. Isn't it true? It's an invitation, right? So it's up to you and me to improve our salah, right? Especially, what is the most difficult thing about salah? Most difficult thing? Khushu'. And khushu' means?
Full concentration of. No.
That's just part of the meaning. What is the meaning of khushu'?
Submitting yourself.
No. Would Allah explain this in the Quran?
How much the right to pray given?
Yeah.
Alladhina yadhunnuna rabbahum. Which surah is this? Surah number 2, verse number 46. Right? Allah was informing us about the word khashi'un. Yeah. Wasta'inu bisabri wa innaha lakabiratun 'alal khashi'in. Yeah. Seek help in prayer and in salah. It's truly difficult except those who are the khashi'un. Right? So khashi'un is, Allah explained very clearly, right, in surah number 2, in verse number, let me see, 46. Yeah. Which means in this alladhina yadhunnuna annahum mulaqu rabbihim wa annahum ilayhi raji'un. That they are certain, right? They are certain that they are going to meet their Lord and that unto him they are going to return. When you are certain that you are going to meet, are we going to meet Allah? Yes. So sure, we know we're going to meet Allah for sure. Then we are going to focus on our salah. This is just one of the criteria. Okay. Okay. So shall we start with the prayer without any interruptions?
Yes, inshallah.
Now, Kartika?
And maybe halfway through it, we have questions and again.
No, we finish everything first, right?
Yes.
For the video,
Just take notes.
Right. just take notes of your questions, and hopefully you'll forget your questions, and then we can finish faster. Right? So, okay. Remember, this is just a demonstration, right? Because we are facing Tirana now. Okay, so as discussed just now, right? So make sure you have a sutra in front of you, yeah. And then when we have intention to do your prayer, and when we start to pray, the palm facing outside, right? Is it which level? Two times, yeah. Other shoulder level or the ear level. Definitely not the Asian way. Not tongue behind the ear. It never happens. No, not. Is it like this? No, it's always like this. Always like this, right? Palm is in the Qibla, right? either shoulder level or the ear level. Allahu Akbar, right? The right hand either this way, yeah, or this way, right? And then relax, look down, right? And then you will start with your doa al-istiftah, right? As a sunnah. Then you will say A'udhu billahi minasyaitonir rajim, it's a sunnah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, it's a sunnah. And Al-Fatihah is alhamdulillahirabbil alamin at-dhalin amin. That is the obligatory part. Sorry, not obligatory part, that is the pillar of the prayer. If you don't say this, your prayer will be invalid. After that, Amin is a surah, which is a sunnah. Correct? Right? Finish, and after that we go to the next position, right? So Allah, again, lift up your hands is a sunnah, right? Allahu Akbar. Right? So if you look at the side, you should, again, depends on your health levels. As you go older, you know that you find difficulty. Agree? Senior citizens. Right? Here, right? 90 degrees. Make sure you lock your knees, right? And then your face facing the place you're going to prostrate, right? And then you reset your whatever you're going to set later, inshallah, right? And then when you stand up, you will say Sami'allahu liman hamidah. Or some people do this, right? Make sure you know what the hadith goes to, right? Hamidah, right? Then after that, you go to your sujud. Right? How do you go to your sujud? The most authentic way it is to use your palm first, right? Like this, right? And then do it this way. So your forehead and your nose must touch the ground, right? If you talk about your feet, feet should be this way, right? To be this way, your feet, right? And your toes should be this way, not this, right? Not this, but this way. The most common sunnah in that way, right? And as I said, the what do you call it? The fingers pointing to the qibla, not this, right? And you do this, yeah. And then lift up your elbows, right? Then when you sit down, Allahu Akbar, put it here, right? Again, your feet as the most common. Again, depends on your health, is it true, right? I broke my toe, so a big problem. So it's a sunnah to sit on here, on your left, and then your this lift up 90 degrees. It should be here, right? This is a sunnah to sit down. This is occurs for all your sitting down, except on the last raka'ah of your Zohar, Asar, Maghrib, and Isha. Because there's a two tashahud, is it true? Yeah. The first and second one. So the first tashahud is this. Second one, you do this on your bum. Again, because of my health, this should be 90 degrees and all this. This is the sunnah to do it. So if I were to be you, right, I'll forget about all my cultural practices and try to follow my sunnah. And that's very important. You have to do this. Again, the common mistakes in my culture, for example, right, Indonesian, Malaysian, all this, right? As long as you do except the last raka'ah, you do this, which is wrong, right? Because only when you have two tashahud, the first raka'ah, the first tashahud is this, second tashahud is this. So doing a sunnah first and doing the what do you call it? The Fajr prayer untuk raka'ah, it should just be this, right? Sitting on your left leg, not on your bum. Okay?
Sheikh, I have a quick question.
Ustad, we have a question.
No, later. Right? Too many questions from here already. Alright, so then you go to your sujud again. Allahu Akbar. Right, so make sure you do the correct thing. Now when you stand up, right? Stand up. You sit down first at the sunnah, Allah, and then either your knuckles or your hand, right? You go up, you lift up your hand, or not? No, right? Or you lift up your hand only after your first tashahud. So when you rise up from your sujud, you don't lift up your hand.
Only do on the third.
Yeah, on the second, after the tashahud.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me finish first, right?
Sure.
Then you can ask. Then after that, in your tashahud, right? When you lift up your finger,
The whole time.
there's a lot of different versions, but I think the most accurate one is at the beginning part. All the way at the end, And it's a sunnah also to move a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Not like the. Not
Yeah, that's what it takes me.
just a little bit. Just a little bit, right? So it's very distracting. Right? So I know some people when they say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, you lift their hands, you know? Make sure you know what the hadith, but most common hadith, if you read the what's the one Sheikh Khabani, right?
Yeah.
The prayer.
Prayer prescribed.
Prescribed, right? And he said that right from the beginning, you do it, right? And then you shake. Why do you shake your fingers? Yes, it's more stronger than the whip, is it? Or metal rod to hit the shaitan. Now, so when you end the prayer, right, and you say Assalamu alaikum wa finish, right? Assalamu wa rahmatullah. How much you turn your head, right?
To see your right shoulder.
The hadith, what is the hadith?
To see the
Prophet ﷺ say, the companion said, he can see the cheeks of Prophet ﷺ.
Yeah.
Can you see the cheek? So you do need, okay, depends on your health, of course, right? But if you can see the cheek, the back you can see your cheek, and then to the left.
Like a coin, when you see the side of the coin.
Yes. Now, so this is quite important for you to understand this, right? Before we get up, I invite questions, inshallah. But before that, I need also to say, right? Do not precede the imam.
Yes.
If you precede the imam, what happened?
It's
Valid.
Prayer invalid. So again, your culture, right? When you end the prayer, right? When imam says Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, immediately people start, right? Just move. Yeah, right. But you should start for the followers of the imam. You should start only when the imam finish the second one. Is that true? So same thing when you are late in your prayer, you want to do your prayer that you missed. When you stand up, is it the first salam or the second salam?
Second.
Right?
Because that's fun.
Sorry?
That's the first one. You have to do the right one. Some is the left, right?
Yeah, so when do you stand up? Second?
After the
First salam.
one.
Okay.
What do you
Second
mean?
salam.
The second salam.
Yes.
When the imam finishes.
Yeah, when the imam finishes, then you stand up.
Well, you don't have to give the salam.
No, you don't say the salam.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, but you're just waiting for the imam to finish the second salam, then you stand up. That's quite important to understand.
When he does first and then you.
And also, as I said very clearly just now, right? When Imam says the first salam, don't turn your head because you might. A lot of people I see, right? Imam haven't said Assalamualaikum. He was just about to stand up already. Like, subhanallah.
Or you should something when before you even say Allah, I'm going to stand up. They already stand up.
Yeah. So again, only when Imam must know what to say, of course, right? You should say if you're the Imam in the house, right? The minute when you start to move, you say it depends on who is following you, of course, right? But in general, let's say when you go to your prostration, right? You should say from here, right? Allahu Akbar. When you say Akbar, then your face hit the ground.
Yes.
And the followers is ridiculous, right? Because once they move too fast, what happened? They precede the Imam. Especially when Imam is like me, getting older, right? I go to the procession quite slow, isn't it true? Right? You precede Imam, that will make your salah invalid. So you have to be careful in this.
So we wait until it finishes.
Akbar, yes. Right? If the Imam can also do this, right? Because people like me who are quite old, right? And let's say I can also do halfway. So I go down first. Allahu Akbar. Okay? So do it, but not do, if you're the Imam, right? Don't do it at least like Allahu Akbar. Then, people will, of course, especially when they cannot see you, they will precede you. Right? So as an Imam, you need to do it properly.
You read the first takbir again.
What?
The first takbir that we did. When you start the prayer.
Yeah. Right? Allah. So your palms face the Qibla, either the shoulder level or the ear level. Allahu Akbar. Right? Now the next common, sorry, I can later, yeah? I finished this one first, right? The next common mistake again, in your culture, right? And yours is of course, right? Is about when you join the Imam, yeah? When Imam is in, let's say, sujud position, right? What people do usually when they join? Allahu Akbar. Is it right or wrong? What? Yeah, so the first takbir is called takbiratul ihram, is it true?
So this is the first one.
This is the most important one.
Yeah.
Any one of us, this is the pillar of the salah. Anyone of us who does not do this, the prayer is not valid.
For you to say anyone who does not do this is okay.
That's the you.
Oh,
So Allahu Akbar and Allahu Akbar, right? And that's very important for all of us to understand. Yeah, this important part. We're going to talk about it later, inshallah. Yeah, what part of the salah is the obligatory, what is the pillar, and what is the sunnah? Okay, so I'll end this inshallah so that you can ask your questions. Okay, Akram, your question?
I was going to say, between the sujuds, how many
Yes.
times you say on the sujood? How many times you say on the sujood after the first sujood needs to sit down and sujood?
2, the sunnah, yes, twice.
Is the minimum once?
Yes. Are you texting me?
No, I was trying to remember.
Okay, I know because usually people say 3, isn't it true? But this is what this is 2. Well, in between 2 prostrations, you say roughly twice. Only 2 what? All right. Yes.
But is it like the food and then is it like the hamdi?
Yeah, I say that once. Allahumma warhamni washkurni wahdini warzuqni. Yeah.
Is there a hadith that says,
Yes.
every time, isn't there a hadith that says every time the Prophet stood, he put his hands together? Is that why you're allowed to put your hands together when you're standing? So after the cool, some people put their hands together, for example.
Oh, I haven't come across the hadith.
Oh, you have
Yeah, I haven't come across the hadith. I know people do that.
Because of that, the
Right.
video you sent, I'll check. He sends
Yeah, because I know Prophet Sallallahu, according to what I read, just long time ago, that whenever he's in his standing position, he always put his arms here. That's the reason why.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the one I was looking.
Is it what? Yeah, okay. That's the reason why, right? But in general, even though you put it down, it's accepted, inshallah.
Yeah, because you're still not right.
Yes.
I know there's different schools of thoughts. They pray different ways because I know there's ones your arm, your forearm,
Yeah.
your hands. There's some who pray with their hands down as well.
Yes.
There's some
Yes.
as well,
Malikis,
so
all
as
this.
well, yeah.
Yes.
Is that are you allowed to mix it up sometimes?
No. As I said just now, okay, first of all, in steps of Allah, in this group, we don't have a madhab, right? We follow what is the best sunnah. Agreed? Right, that's quite important, right? Why do I say so? Because again, in your Asian culture, right, Africa, right, people refuse to change, right? Especially things like lifting up the hands, right? The hadith in your culture also, right? It's only the takbiratul ihram, then you lift the hands, isn't it true? Right? Hanafis, right? But the hadith regarding lifting up the hands on the 4 positions when you stand at beginning, when you go to your bowing, and Sami Allahu man hamidah, and you stand up from your tashahud, is more authentic than the one that is used by the Asians or the Hanafis, right? But this is a sunnah, right? We don't quarrel about sunnah, isn't it true? It's up to you, right? So don't quarrel about sunnah. But if you want to argue, yes, about the takbiratul ihram, yes, it's very important. You argue over this. Agreed? Right? Don't argue about Amin, loud or soft. Yes, you can do whatever it is, but I prefer more common or more authentic hadith about doing it loud.
Sheikh,
Okay? Yes. Sorry, hold on.
question here. Wassalam.
Yes.
I understand that there's importance, like you said, of having your ankles together when you're down in prostration. I got told and I understand that there's an importance to have your legs or your knees touching the floor first before your hands do. Apparently, like there's some similarity of being down like an animal. I don't know if that's authentic, if that's anything along those lines, but
Yeah, I think the more authentic one is to have your hands first. Again, of course, this is regarding your ability, your age, and all this, your health, and all this, right? But I think it's more authentic to have your hand first when you do your sujood, right? Not the other way. Yeah. Again, this is different, and again, this is sunnah, isn't it true? So up to you what you want to do, but more authentic is about going on your hands first. Okay. And when you stand up, it's more authentic to sit down first, isn't it true? Right? And before you, and then you stand up. But of course, that's up to you. It's just a sunnah, right? What you want to do, inshallah. Okay. Even sitting down at the position, right? For the young people, right? Almi, Elham, right? Akram, and all this. There's no excuse for you to try to do properly. Is it true? You're sitting down properly, sitting on your left feet, all this. Oh yeah, sorry. You got a broken toe, yeah. You are excused for 1 month.
Yes, sorry.
Right?
I stepped on his toe because I was trying to put toe to toe.
I did have a they call it a fracture of mine because I tried to do this.
No, I didn't say it just now. I stepped on his toe by accident.
Yeah.
I want to close the gap.
I think Shaitan is involved in that. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
So I missed what you said of what you're supposed to say between Allahu Akbar and before A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem.
Like this, they call dua as al-istiftah. Right? I would say, I mean, in our side, is it true? Right? Wajjahtu wajhiya lilladhi fatara as-samawati wal ardi hanifa wa ma ana minal mushrikin, all this, right? But there are different narrations, the shorter narrations are getting this, right?
I always say Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik.
Yes, but I think that's a bit longer, is it true?
Yeah.
Yes, the bit longer version.
So what's that? Is that-
So try, it's a sunnah, right? So try to do the full version, inshallah, right?
But is that okay? That's Subhanakallah.
Yes. Yes, I heard about that, inshallah. Yeah, so again, but as long as there is an evidence of hadith, yeah?
Yeah,
Yes.
I say subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa then I say
Yes, yeah. That's your thinking, is it true? Hanafi, is it true?
You see, this is my parents told me this.
Alhamdulillah, safe. But it's a sunnah, so if you do it, alhamdulillah, get more reward. If you don't do it, it's up to you, right?
Also, it doesn't invalidate if you don't say it.
No,
Oh.
no, we're going to talk about. Any last questions getting this? Before we go to the different, what do you call it, rulings, getting different positions and all this, right? Let's go through the, yes, okay. Regarding the pillars of the prayer, what does the pillar means? That means if you do not do it, what happened? It's invalid, right? Next comes the obligatory part of prayer. If you do not do it, yes, you can compensate it by due to position of forgetfulness, right? But not for the pillar.
Okay.
Right? And last one is sunnah. Sunnah is if you do it, alhamdulillah, more reward. Don't do it, it doesn't invalid your prayer. Right? You do not need to redo the prayer, whatever it is. Okay, so this is 3 parts: obligatory, pillar, obligatory, and the sunnah.
Yeah, you know what I care about forgetfulness?
Yes.
You know when we pray with the Asian mosque? They do it differently.
Differently, yes.
I'm confused with that.
Yeah.
one.
I think the non-Asian mosque is easier to understand.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Even Tarawih,
I know, I'm still Asian, but
even the winter they do differently.
yeah, it's quite complicated, the Asian mosque. No, but both are accepted.
Yeah,
It's
there's
a
different ways of doing it.
Yeah. Why?
Always confused.
Why the rest is easier to do it? Because you just need to finish off your tashahud, isn't it true?
And then Allah.
And then that's it. Don't say salam first, that's your position of forgetfulness, right? Because the Hanafi side, right? You do halfway, and then like your tashahud first, right?
Yeah.
Then after that, you do your prostration twice, and then you start all over again. I don't know, right? Start your tashahud, isn't it true?
That's why I'm
Right?
confused.
So that's complicated. I mean, I'm not being
I
biased.
stopped going to Asian mosque when I was like 10. I realized that, yo, I don't want to do this.
Go to Indonesian mosque.
Yeah.
One coming up soon.
Is there
Okay.
anything?
Sorry?
Is there anything?
Yeah, of course. I'll bring you one day, inshallah. All right. Okay. So, what is the pillar of the prayer? What is the first pillar of the prayer? That if you don't do this, you've been invalid. Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, standing. If you can stand, but you don't stand, doesn't matter where you are, your prayer will be invalid. So, sisters sometimes ask me, oh, I'm in a changing room in whatever it is, right? In Selfridges and all this. Can I pray sitting down? I said, no way. If you're in your car and you are driving, you are controlling your car, you cannot pray sitting down. Do you agree?
Yeah, you drive anyway. You can't stop.
Because you can stop somewhere and you can just stand up. But if you are on a train, on a bus, you cannot control, even on an aeroplane, right? Then you have a choice. Except Saudi Airlines, you can stand up, right?
If you're lucky,
It's a prayer.
in the Kaaba, heavy rains outside or heavy snow and stuff like that.
Yeah, perhaps, yes.
I think
Right.
one of the evidence, if you ever had one of them, you can pray there as well.
Yeah, yeah,
The
alhamdulillah.
front seat,
Yeah.
the front of the main
Yeah.
seat, they got like.
Yeah, yeah, please, yeah, right? So, very important, brothers, standing, right? Please tell whoever it is you are asking you, if you can't stand but you don't stand, then your prayer will not be valid, right? Very important. So, this is a pillar of the prayer. Second one will be the opening takbir, Allahu Akbar. Then it must, whether you miss the few rak'ah or not, then it must be your first. I'm not talking about the hands, all right? I'm just talking about the takbir, Allahu Akbar. Hands, it is optional, still sunnah. It's not an obligatory part, right? The Allahu Akbar is the pillar of the prayer, right? The next one is reciting Al-Fatiha, right? This is the pillar of the prayer, right? And again, as I said before so many times, brothers, please make the effort, right? And especially teach the children, right? Not just to recite Al-Fatiha, but to understand. Isn't it true, right? So what's the difference now between Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim? Alhamdulillah. What's the difference?
Mercy to all the creation and also mercy to the.
Yes, one Ar-Rahman is mercy to everyone, right? Whether the Jew, Christian, pigs, dogs. And Ar-Rahim is for only the believers on the day of judgment, right? So this is very basic, right? Again, another thing, of course, is sorry. On the day of judgment, would the disbelievers get any mercy?
No.
No. Right? In many verses of the Quran, we discussed before, right? Yes. Right? And also, you remember the interaction of your Salah, right? When you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, what did Allah answer us? My servant is praising me. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, what did Allah answer us? My servant is glorifying me. When we say Malik Yawmiddin, Allah answers us?
He exalted me.
Yes, my servant is exalting me, putting me in a high status, right? When they say Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Allah will answer back, it is between me and my servant shall have what they ask for. When they say Ihdina siratal mustaqim and the wal-dhalin, Ameen, same thing. It is between me and my servant shall have what they ask for. So very important to understand this for the khushu, isn't it true? Right? So this is important. So the Al-Fatiha, right? Next one, number 4, ruku'. Right? Ruku', the most complete form means, as I did just now, right? Bend your bodies 90 degrees, lock your elbows, right? And because I see people so lazy, even when they stand up, right? It irritates me a lot, right? You're facing Allah, right? Don't stand like one leg like this. I've seen people, right? One leg like this, loose like this. Have you seen it?
Yeah, stand up properly.
Because you have to respect Allah, right? It's discipline. It's very important, right? Yes.
You know when you say stand, you have to stand with our feet. It talks about.
No. Yes. You should stand with your feet, with your toes facing the front, trying to as well as possible. Not this way, right? This way, if you can, inshallah, right? But of course, because talking about the best way. Do whatever you want, inshallah. All right, but it's the best way. Yeah. Okay. So, ruku', as I said, is if anybody miss ruku' and just go to your prostration deliberately, what happened? Invalid.
Is it pillar?
It's a pillar. It's a pillar, right? Ruku', right? Rising from bowing and standing up straight. This is a very common mistake that people do. You will see it in your mosque, right? People up, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, before they stand up straight, they go to your sujud.
They don't completely move.
Your bone must be resting. Is it true? What is the hadith of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? What is the hadith?
The man who prayed quickly. And
Yes.
then pray again.
Yes. How many times? 3 times. He prayed 3 times. And Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam keep on telling you haven't prayed yet. Literally said that, right? He asked to repeat the prayer again, and then until he asked, okay, tell me what happened, right? What did I do? He said that every position your bone must be still, right? The 2 common positions that we always, right? Perhaps maybe negligent is this when you stand up, right? And then in between 2 prostrations when you sit down, right? Before you sit down straight, you go to the next prostration, right? It's the 2 most common mistakes. Brothers, this is a big mistake. It's not a small mistake. It's part of the pillar of the salah. If you do this, chances that your prayer is not accepted. Is it true? From this hadith that we discussed just now. Okay? The next one, sujud, right? If you don't do sujud, your prayer won't be accepted. Right? Sujud, the most appropriate, the best way is what discussed just now. Yeah, make sure your heels are touching, right? Your toes are like this, right? The 7 parts must touch the ground. What are the 7 parts? Your forehead and then the nose, your palms, your 2 knees, and on your toes, right? That touch the ground. Okay? And of course it's good to have your elbows up. Yeah? Next one, rising from prostration and sitting between the 2 prostrations, right? In the best way that we discussed just now, right? Not on your bum, but on your bum is on your left leg. Okay. Being at ease of these physical pillars. Next, number 11, the final tashahud. Then sitting to recite the final tashahud and the 2 salam and the 2 salams, right? And doing the pillars in order mentioned here. It must be in that order. You cannot do your sujud first and your. So this is the pillars of the salah. I'm going to post it, of course, in the website, inshallah, in our chat group, inshallah. So you understand this. Questions? Clear? Okay. So, what are the obligatory parts of the prayer? Takbir, other than the opening takbir. So if, I know I heard some imam, right? Forgot to say takbir.
What do you mean? Say Allahu Akbar?
Not just the beginning, but all the positions to say takbir.
Wasn't that one of the pillars?
Sorry?
Wasn't that one of the pillars?
The pillar is the beginning part. Ihram is a pillar. But other parts, when you move in the position, you need to say a takbir. Isn't it true? Yes. Right? Takbir, I'm not talking about the hand movements, right? I'm talking about takbir, the saying itself, right? And then saying, second one saying, Sami Allahu liman hamida, right? The second one, if you don't say this, right, it will be, you need to do 2 prostrations for forgetfulness. Yes.
And then when you pray when you say the Takbiratul Ihram and all the Sami Allahu liman hamida, if you're the imam, you have to say that out loud.
Of what?
If you're praying by yourself, let's say if you're in the house,
yes.
You pray Asr,
yes. Yeah.
It's out loud, right?
Yeah, out loud as in, you don't need to shout out loud, but as in verbal, not from the heart. Yeah.
It's the sunnah.
Yes. Yes.
Let's say you're praying on your own and someone joins in the masjid, or for example, so you're reciting let's say praying often, right? And you're not reciting out loud, you don't disturb people. Someone joins you, you start reciting loud.
Yes.
And then if you start in the mosque, you don't just join unless you see there's a Jama'ah there.
What do you mean?
So if someone's praying alone, he could be praying Maghrib because he needs Maghrib as well.
Yeah.
But he might be praying Sunnah as well, you don't know.
Doesn't matter, right? Yes. If you are praying Sunnah, somebody is joining you from behind, are you allowed to be the imam?
Yeah.
Yes. Hadith is there, right? From Rasulullah said so. So that means after that, your intention is still Sunnah. But just need to do loud for the you recite loud for them.
But let's say you want
No, not for the loud. I'm talking about takbir loud for them. Yeah. Yeah. So you don't recite the because you're doing a sunnah anyway,
so if
right?
Maghrib time, you don't do even if it's Maghrib time, you pray Sunnah. Someone joins you because he thinks you might be praying Maghrib.
Yes.
You don't recite out loud.
Because you're doing sunnah, isn't it true?
Yeah, I'm doing Sunnah.
Yeah, doing it out loud.
But he behind me is praying Maghrib, right?
Yes, okay.
Give the salam. What if he doesn't know?
No, doesn't make sense because if he's
What does that
because he's going to do whatever he's missed.
Okay.
So let's say you do your second of sunnah and you're not speaking, he probably thinks you're on the third.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter because he knows that he's prayed one of them.
Yeah.
So he knows he has to do 2 more. So
Yeah.
And do you join people as well when we see anyone like?
It's up to you, yeah. But the problem is when you join other people, they do not know the rules.
yeah.
They think you're some crazy man, right? Right? So and I've said this before, right? If you join, let's say the imam and the follower, where must they stand? With 2 people?
Say
Behind.
Same line. Exactly same line. right?
The Imam.
If I'm the imam,
Yeah.
there's another follower beside me. Only two of us praying, right? So the person is behind or in front or same line,
No, same line.
side by side, right? And very important to understand this, right? But if
Sorry, Ustad. You know the hadith where the Prophet it's like from the hadith where he pulls the companion to the right side.
yeah,
They put him in front of him or behind him?
behind him usually,
Behind him.
yeah, yeah. So
But is the imam then to the left?
sorry,
Is it important for the imam to be to the left if there's two people that are
yes, on the
praying?
left. Imam is always on the left. Okay, are you enjoying your hot chocolate at home?
Yes, indeed, sir.
Alhamdulillah. Now, if somebody else come in to join, right? Where does he or she stand?
Behind.
Oh no, he stands. Sorry,
On the right.
she.
Well, first he has to tap the person who's behind the man saying come back so they can make two and then one with
Yeah, so he should touch the person beside me who is praying, right? And then again, if the person doesn't know how to do it, you need to use a shoulder, pull a shoulder back.
I want to stay next to
You're right, they've been tough.
Right.
So you have to pull them.
Yeah, pull them back. Yeah, but brothers, if there's no space, right? Like my office is quite close, quite small, right? You can just stand on the left, right, of the imam, right?
Subhanallah. This guy's finishing up.
Broken time.
So you stand on the left of the imam because I would think you stand on the right.
No, on the left. On the left, there's no space. But again, it depends on the space, of course, right? Sometimes the space is there's no space on my left, right? So it depends, right? But normally, right and left with that space, yes.
So when you're praying in Jumat
Yes.
and the Imam says Sami Allahu liman hamida, do you then say Sami Allahu liman hamida as well? Or do you just go to Rabbana wa
In general, we know from the Sunnah that when Imam will say Sami Allahu liman hamida, you as a follower just say Rabbana wa lakal hamd. Okay?
You have to say this out loud because I saw some narration say you don't say it loud, you say it.
Yeah, verbally, and yeah, you don't need to Rabbana wa lakal hamd.
Because sometimes when you say something, I say Rabbana.
Yeah? There's no more, isn't it?
No, this is everyone.
Okay.
Ustad, you know, in my university, sometimes they pray and the mic's not working. So sometimes like an extra person from Advent, he says like Allahu Akbar, so people are talking.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Is it when there's a takbir to the ihram, he also says Allahu Akbar as well? Does that make sense? So
No,
he didn't say Allahu Akbar after takbir to the ihram.
I don't understand the question.
So imagine I'm the imam, Allahu Akbar.
Yes.
One Advent, he also says Allahu Akbar.
Yes.
So other people can hear.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, because whoever is maybe nearest to the other side should say Allahu Akbar. Doesn't need to be muadhin.
Continues down.
Yes. No need to be the muadhin. Yeah. Doesn't need to be the muadhin. Anybody else can say. Yeah. But not everybody, of course. Right. Okay, shall we continue, inshallah? Right. Another thing that is sayings of the obligatory part of the prayer is saying Rabbana walakal hamd, right? Number 4, saying Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, right? Once when bowing is obligatory part, Sunnah is 3 times, as you know, right? Number 5, saying Subhana Rabbiyal Ala in your prostration, right? Saying Rabbi Firli or whatever things you can say between the 2 prostrations, it is obligatory part. I don't know why some cultures sorry to say this, right? Now, your culture again, right? People keep on telling me, we don't recite anything between 2 prostrations. Is it true, right? Hanafi, is it?
Hanafi, that's so strange. No, I've never been told that.
I've been told that.
I used to say that prayer here.
Yeah,
So, when you say Rabbi Firli, I say it twice.
Twice, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. All I'm trying to say from this, right, is saying Arabic Firli, it is an obligatory part.
Okay.
So don't just sit down, say nothing.
I mean, no part of the prayer, like each section of the prayer, you have to say something.
Yes. Okay. And sorry?
When you do your first prostration,
Prostrations when you sit down first, right? Then you go second prostration, you need to say Arabic Firli.
you need to say, is this the pillar of
This is the obligatory part. If you don't say this, yes, or any other things you say, I see different things, right? Would you say anything? Yeah, see, right? So you should say this something, right? Yes, right? Okay, that is the reason why again, not being saying actions like this, right? That's why some people do it quite fast because they have nothing to say, and then you just go it quickly, right? Because it's,
Yeah, they
right?
told us just to sit up straight, make sure your back is straight.
Yeah. Okay. So it's as I said, right, brothers, right? For me personally, if you know that it's hadith that is more authentic, doesn't matter what you follow, isn't it true? Shafi'i, all this, right? You need to follow the authentic one, isn't it true? Right. So this is actually a obligatory part to say Rabbi Fili or whatever it is I saying, right?
What would you call us? Because we don't follow another.
We call it the madhab of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay. Now the first tashahhud is obligatory. The sitting of the first tashahhud is obligatory. So that means, okay, let's say if you forget the second, is it second or third raka'ah? All right. What do you do?
Pray extra rak'ah.
So let's say 2 or 3. You do in your head 2 or you do 3.
2.
Always take the lower figure. Always take the lower figure. Not because you're lazy, you do 3, right? 2, always.
What if that happens when you give them this last tashahhud and they're like, I'm not really for you're about to end the salah.
Yep.
So what happens now? You're thinking that is that
Then you need to stand up one more. Yes. Right. What happens if you do your salam, then after that you know that, okay, actually I did 3, not 4.
Repeat your prayer.
Do one more. Do one more.
I just need to do one more raka'ah. Yes. Then before you salam, do the protection forgetfulness.
So you don't do all over again for it, just do one
No.
side.
No. Unless you want to be like them, right? Very hardworking. Then, but you don't know. Hardworking. Right. Now, any questions?
So
Yes.
if you're in doubt whether you're on the third or fourth, you pick the lower, so third.
Always take the lower. Even when you do it, next time you do the umrah, inshallah, the tawaf on the Kaaba, if you're confused, is it 5 or 6? Always take the lower one, 5. Okay?
What do you mean like? Oh yeah, yes, yeah. So then
Tawaf, yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes. Okay. Now the sunnah words. Sunnah means is up to you. What you want to do it, you do it. You got more reward. Is that, as I said, doa al istiftar, the beginning part before your a'udhu billahi syaitanir rajim, right? A'udhu billahi syaitanir rajim, it is a sunnah. Even saying Bismillah is a sunnah. Saying Ameen is a sunnah. Right? Reciting a surah after Al-Fatihah is a sunnah. Reciting out loud for the imams of Isha is a sunnah. Right?
So after prayer,
No.
sunnah.
No, when it's an imam, Maghrib, if you recite the Maghrib and Isha, is loud, isn't it true? It is a sunnah for loud. It's not an obligatory part.
So you don't have to like recite another surah after Fatiha.
Sorry?
You don't have to recite another surah.
You don't have to, but it's good. Sunnah means what? It's a reward, isn't it true? What did Prophet Muhammad said? Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. Pray as you see me pray.
More than one surah after Fatiha.
You shouldn't. Right? It's a sunnah teaches us to recite 1. I know in the Tarawih prayer people recite 3, isn't it true? Sometimes, right? But it's a sunnah prayer, it's not obligatory part. Right? Yes.
Could you recite just one ayah? Like this last
What Alif Lam Mim?
Potentially, yes. Listen, we don't know what that means. It could mean a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Ayatul Kursi is it 1 ayah? Yes, again, it's right there. Okay, but don't take a mickey, is it true? Alif Lam Mim and then Toha next to
Everyone be quiet.
Right? Right? So, yeah, Ayatul Kursi is 1 verse, isn't it true? Sometimes I will recite the last verse of Al-Baqarah and all this. Right? Saying Rabbana walakal hamd for one who is not praying behind the Imam, it is a sunnah, right? Saying tasbih more than once, right? In your ruku' and your sujud is a sunnah more than once. Okay? It's a sunnah. Saying Arabic freely between 2 prostrations is a sunnah more than once, right? The minimum is 1 for any recitation. Minimum is 1. Sunnah, okay, is 3 in general, but as Arabic freely, you recite 2, inshallah. Okay. Okay, this is quite interesting, right? Saying the second part of tashahhud, it is a sunnah. Okay. So, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita. This is sunnah, right? If you have no time in your salah, things happen, is it true? Right? In your work and all this, right? You can just rather than rush to the prayers, don't know what it means, just do the obligatory part, inshallah. Right? At least you know what it means and you have more khushu, inshallah. Okay? Actions that are sunnah, raising the hands, right? When saying the opening so as I said, the takbir is obligatory, but the raising of hands is a sunnah. Okay? So don't dispute all the sunnah things. Okay? Raising the hands when bowing, raising the hands when rising from bowing is a sunnah. Dropping after that is a sunnah. Standing feet apart. I know some people standing like a girl, isn't it true? Feet together and all this. You should spread a little bit, right? Your culture, isn't it true, Iftikhar? I've seen it. Right?
He's not wrong though, is he?
It's true, right?
You don't understand this, just make sure it's only this much wide.
Yeah. But you do need to stand because it's about balance, so isn't it true? Yes, yes, difficult, right? So it is a sunnah to join feet to feet if you can, right? But sometimes people are pushing against you, it's quite uncomfortable, isn't it true? It depends, but shoulder is much more important.
So you know, when people move away, like I think sometimes like, why you did like you're in a jama'ah, but you don't want to be joined together.
Yeah, it's jahil, of course.
All these uncles that they don't like me.
Don't worry, right? Inshallah, that time will be up soon. So the younger generations are going to come with the sunnah.
That's one way to put
it is because brothers in general, right? Alhamdulillah, even the Asian mosques, younger imams are all following the sunnah. They don't have all these dodgy dua after the salah, right? And most of them are like this, alhamdulillah. So but because they're older generations are quite difficult to change, right? So give them a few years, inshallah. May Allah grant the Jannah. Then the young ones come up from the sunnah, inshallah. Right. Sorry?
3 minutes left. Or
I thought you said free Palestine. Okay. Yes.
Last question, inshallah.
Can you keep the question first?
Yeah.
Let me finish first, right?
No.
Yeah. So keeping the elbows. Okay, this is quite important, right? Some people are very selfish, right? They think they're so big, right? They put the elbows here and all this. You need to because the jama'ah must be quite tight, right? Keep it close, inshallah. But raise up your. Sorry.
Pray like this in jama'ah.
Yeah, some people.
Cool.
He's praying with his armpits showing.
Yeah. But you have to understand nowadays, alhamdulillah, mosques are well packed, isn't it true? Right? So you do need to be considerate. Sorry? 15? Okay, inshallah. All right. Yeah. So the rest of this, inshallah, just read it through the notes, inshallah. I'm going to put in your, what do you call it, WhatsApp group, inshallah. All right. Any last questions? Yes.
You see, when you're in a sujood, you know you can make dua. You can make dua in Arabic, which is part of the Quran. So,
yes. Yes.
Can you make the dua of forgiveness as well?
Yes, of course.
And can I make dua in my own language?
Yes.
What is it? Should I say aloud or do I say in my head?
No, you need to be verbal, yes. Not loud. Okay, this is very important, right? This is for reminding me. Brothers, what are the most irritating things that a person can do in the prayer is to say, like, annoying, is it true? Right? So, whatever things that you say, make sure that it's for yourself. Make sure nobody can hear you. It's very annoying. I have to sometimes do the things, especially when you use your salah and all this, right? Repeat it so many times, right? And it's really irritating. So make sure you are considerate to others. Sorry? Alhamdulillah. Yeah?
You see when you're praying and you see something you dislike or something happens or something that very annoys you but you want to say something out loud. I know there was something, I forgot the duration, woman clap and men have to say subhanallah Allah.
Now this is when the imam has, for example, supposed to sit down in after second raka'ah, but he stood up.
Yeah.
So the imam, the man will say subhanallah, the woman Yes.
But how about if I'm just by myself and I see something I dislike, or maybe a baby's having something, or something like someone's at the door, and I just say, Subhanallah.
You think the baby can answer you? Okay,
No,
okay,
not the
go
baby,
ahead.
someone else. I want to say something, can I
Okay, so good question, right? So let's say I'm quite close to this door, right? Sorry. So let's say I'm quite close to this door, right? If something, if knocks on the door and I'm praying this direction, for example, I can just take a few steps and open the door, and then that's it, right? But of course, I don't go from the front to the back. But very important, brothers, if you do this, make sure you don't face other than, you must face the Qibla. Right, so let's say the door is behind, right? So I walk behind and then open up the door. I don't turn. Okay, that's very important. Yes.
So you know when I'm praying, like let's say I'm doing sunnah, and some brothers they leave, and then there's like an open space.
Yes.
Is it possible for me to move like forward and also to the side as well, like in a diagonal fashion?
Okay. Refreshing to you about the kind of movements that you must do, or you must not do. It's a sunnah not work. What is a movement that is you must move?
fill in the gap during the prayer?
No.
That's what you
That is sunnah. Sorry? As you said just now, right? If somebody you're praying and somebody want to pass in front of you, it's obligatory for you to put up your hand and to prevent this person. It's obligatory. Children run and this. Yeah, you're correct. So this obligatory part, right? Sunnah is when you moving the gaps, right? There's gaps in front of you, then you sunnah to either front or to the. Let's say there's a gap, right? And the center, let's say center of the row, center of the imam is here, right? And I'm here. There's a gap. Should I move that side or they must move this side? I move close to the center of the row always, not move the other way. This must be standardized. I'm not even confused. Is it here or here? So move this to the center of the row, inshallah. Right? So this is sunnah. What is mubah? Mubah is that when your phone rings, brothers, and your phone is quite near, pick it up, switch it off. Don't pick it up, look who's calling, right? And then I've seen it, right? And subhanAllah, look calling and all this, and then right? So this is mubah. Mubah means you are allowed to move, right? One that is makruh. Makruh means disliked.
When your eyes are looking around.
It's looking into the sky. Okay, Allah is there, right? So into the sky, right? It's disliked.
You have to watch out because Allah will take your sight.
Take away the eyes. Yes.
Can you scratch?
This is the last part, right? Now, what is haram is too many movements, right? You go to Saudi Arabia, there's the scarf is then you always adjust the scarf. It becomes invalid. Yeah, it's too many movements. So of course, if you scratch, if you each scratch, isn't it true? But don't too much, right? Just a little bit, inshallah. Because always remember, you're standing in front of Allah. There must be discipline, isn't it true? I saw some people in the mosque. Again, sorry to say, right? Because Malakum was the Asian mosque, right? Here, everything scratch, right? How can, I'm not judging, of course. How can be so respectful to Allah, right?
Some people, when they pray, when Allah's name is mentioned, they do this.
Why not?
I don't know.
Based on what? I don't know that when Allah's name is mentioned, Allah.
Some people like to say, me.
And out.
That's bid'ah.
Yes.
I remember once years ago, I was praying with one of my Moroccan friends.
Playing.
Praying.
Okay, pray.
So we were it was Asr time, but it was nearing towards Maghrib, and I don't think he realized he started praying Maghrib with me, and then I was like, I don't know what to do in that situation.
Sorry?
I didn't know what to do in that situation, like.
So he hasn't prayed Asar yet.
I think he might have forgotten or something.
Yes.
And then he started Maghrib, and it wasn't even time for Maghrib.
Okay.
But it looked like it was getting there.
Yeah.
And then so he started praying Maghrib, I was behind him, or to the side of him. And I didn't know what to do. Because obviously it's not time for Maghrib, we shouldn't be praying Maghrib.
Yeah, so you shouldn't pray.
Yeah, I know, but what do I do to him? I'm like, wait, push him or...
No, maybe it's praying Asar.
No, he was just saying out loud.
Okay, then tell him.
He started Maghrib, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, then tell him off.
So I just have like the stop.
Yeah, to stop it. Yeah, no need to do salah, but it's just.
That is like.
Yeah, yes.
If you join a prayer, you haven't, like, for example, someone hasn't prayed Dhuhr, for example, right?
Yes.
This Dhuhr, it's Asr time.
Yes.
What does he do when he joins the Jama'ah?
He was intention to do the Dhuhr first.
Always the first prayer.
Always the first prayer, because it's from hadith. The Prophet ﷺ was distracted and he couldn't pray the Dhuhr because of the war. He prayed in that order, the Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, in that order. Right?
So let's say I've got a friend and he hasn't prayed Asr.
Is that your friend him?
He hasn't prayed Dhuhr.
Yes.
And we decide, like, do I wait for him to finish his Dhuhr, or can I tell him I'm going to pray Jama'ah Asr? You join for me with your intention.
Yeah, so you can pray Asr and he just follow you in the Dhuhr, inshallah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Say it's Asr time, but somebody is praying Dhuhr at that time. Should they pray the Asr first or Dhuhr first?
Dhuhr first.
They miss the Dhuhr, but they should.
Yeah, doesn't matter. You pray what you miss first.
Alright.
Yeah. Okay. Last questions? Is it helpful?
I have another question.
So is it helpful to this lecture? Alhamdulillah. Right?
What if I join that person praying Asr? I'm thinking like, okay, he's praying Asr, but I joined it. But he praying Dhuhr.
Doesn't matter. Everybody, the imam and the ma'mum can have different intentions. Okay. Ma'mum is a follower.
It's a follower, yeah.
All right. Last questions. All right. And now are we ready to face Ramadan, inshallah?
Inshallah.
With a better understanding of the Salah?
Yes.
All right. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase our ability to seek knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us our shortcomings and our sins. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow all of us to meet the month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide our brothers who are in the form of misguidance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide our family members in the right path. And grant all of us Jannatul Firdaus. Subhanaka wa bihamdika wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalam al mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakumullah khair. We'll see you inshallah for our next week. Yeah? Assalamu alaikum.